How do I, F16, tell my mom I'm fluent in Russian? My mom came to the US by herself when she was 15. She met my dad very soon after, who was in the military, and then got pregnant when she was 16. She was always in and out between 3-7, then left. From that point on, with my dad being in the military, I was mainly raised by my grandma. When I was 8, I started going to Russian school, up until I was 14. I wanted to properly speak to my mom, but I didn't tell anyone that. She never came back anyway, so it didn't end up mattering, and after a while, I didn't really care she was gone. My mom reached out to me 2 months ago, for the first time since I was 7. I secretly see her, and I don't even know why. My grandma practically hates her, so I haven't told her. So, for the past 1-2 months, I've been going to her house. Her husband's mom lives with them, and she only speaks Russian, so the main language in their house is Russian. When they asked I know Russian, I said no. Sounds stupid, but I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of knowing I learned Russian for her. I was completely fine for years. I had my grandma, my dad would come back a few times, but I realize now that I have to get over it and focus on the future. So, how would I tell her I lied? Tell her and you did not do it for her, you did it for your heritage. Learn as much as you can about your heritage on her side so you can be better equipped to handle life challenges. Please define this relationship with her and understand its limitations. Good luck. Well, at least they see and talk about you without you knowing. Tell her the truth. Her actions caused this anger and you deserve to be able to tell her that this is why you didn't originally tell her. You owe it to nobody but yourself. Tell her the truth when you're ready. You learned Russian because you wanted to be able to talk with her, but then she abandoned you for years and it deeply hurt you. You lied because when she finally came back into your life, those wounds reopened. It hurt that you had put so much effort into connecting with her when she didn't do the same for you. It was a defensive reaction. You put a lot of your heart into learning Russian, and you're hesitant to share that because she's just barely come back into your life. I think being honest with her in a calm conversation will go a long ways in healing these wounds and starting to build a connection with her. Privet, prosto sitabi v nali, cto a gavoru s vami, kak a2. Just like this LMAO. Tell the truth. With a kick to it. As a child I learned Russian hoping to talk soon with you. As an almost adult I did not want to admit I had done more for our relation than you. This is your mom. Let her know how you feel and have felt. If you can't do that, there is not much worth to having a mom. Let her have it and listen to her side of things. Pretend you're learning. I think you should be okay with telling the truth. Look at it this way. You didn't do anything nefarious, mean-spirited or detrimental. You took what would be a situation that would break a lot of young people, and you did something positive. You became bilingual. That is something that a lot of us will never be able to do. You should be proud of yourself. I for one, am a father and I would be very very proud of you if you were my daughter. During separation, husband slept with another woman even though he said he wouldn't. My husband, 28M, and I, 29F, have had issues for a year now. We've tried a few different things to see what helped. Counseling, opened our marriage for a while, closed it again, physical separation for a month, etc. We agreed that during our separation we would open our marriage so that we could trial what it would really be like if we had split. In that time my husband was sleeping with 2 different women, which I was fine with since that was the agreement. Fast forward to the end of our separation period. We had a very heartfelt reuniting in which we both recommitted to each other and said we both wanted to make this work but that we'd ride out this separation since we paid for the Airbnb. That was a week ago. Last night he tells me he is hanging out with one of the women he had been seeing. I ask, just as friends or are y'all having sex? Just friends, honest? Yes. And then they had sex. I don't know how to feel. He's apologized and has been very open with me but I still feel betrayed because we had reconciled right before he sleeps with another woman. We've tried a few different things to see what helped. Counseling, opened our marriage for a while, closed it again, physical separation for a month, etc. This marriage is a walking corpse that you two are trying to keep on life support. It's time for a divorce. I'm confused. He slept with another woman not during separation, only but also after you've reconciled? He's not worth it anymore, my dear. He's clearly not fully in that relationship anymore. Time for divorce. You don't deserve that. Honestly, at this point, what is the point? You guys need to divorce. Nothing is clearly working for your relationship. He cheated flat out and he knows it. You should have told him hell no, you are not hanging out with that woman, but hindsight 2020 cause you trusted him. Just divorce, he will probably continue to cheat. Out of curiosity, how long was the separation? I am so sorry he chose getting his dick wet over your marriage. You are back at square zero with this separation. He doesn't value you at all. You want to be together, but the cost of the Airbnb was reason enough to stay apart? Was that his idea because it seems like an excuse for him to sleep around just a little more while you wait at home? You're still young. Get out and find someone who loves you. I do not know. At this age, do you really want to deal with drama in your life? I am relatively younger than you, but I would prefer to stay single my entire life than to stay with someone who has lied to me. Even if I love my partner immensely, I can never get over the dishonesty and will end up resenting him, which I rightfully should, as well as become a bitter person. So I would just prefer to walk away. I have made lot of efforts to love myself. I cannot let all that go in vain for someone who chose to be dishonest while our relationship has been in a fragile state. It is like my partner does not value our relationship as much as I do. My roommate hates me because of my spiritual beliefs. I, 22F, have been living with my roommate, 24F, for a few months now. She is Christian and I am pagan. When I discovered she was to be my roommate, I reached out to her to get to know her and we had a few friendly conversations. After we both got settled, there was an obvious difference in our decor preferences that her mom decided to ask me about. She has crosses and Bible verses everywhere, bright colorful things. I have my occult-like decor, gothic, witchy, etc. Her mom was very respectful and seemed to be curious about my beliefs, so I shared my tarot cards with her, and then she talked about how she has witnessed deliverance from demons within her church. It was a respectful disagreement and appreciation for each other's differences. However, ever since then my roommate has been hateful towards me. Every time I come home and her door is open, she slams her door shut. This is what really pisses me off. When I returned from winter break, I noticed my decor was missing. She literally pulled my wall decor down, gathered my other decor, and stuffed it beneath the sink. I found that really odd, but I tried to give her the benefit the doubt and assume that maybe she had her conservative grandparents over and didn't want them to see that stuff and forgot to put it back. I just put it back and didn't mention it. I returned from spring break, and she's done the same thing again. Once again, I put my decorations back, and because I'm not naturally an assertive person, I didn't say anything. She seemed angry that I put them back. When she got home that day I said hi to her, and she completely ignored me. The next day she bought fake plants and placed them in front of my decorations so they couldn't be seen. What am I supposed to do in response to that? Move her plants? I don't know what to do about this. The solution would probably be to talk to her about this, but what should I say? My friend told me that because she touched my decorations that I should just turn her crosses upside down, and let her come home to see that. While that would be hilarious, I'm not going to stoop to her level of immaturity and intolerance. I'm confused, not at all an unusual event. You are living together and each have your own bedrooms, correct? The solution seems pretty easy. No religious decorations, 0, in shared space and your own personal preferences in your own rooms. But, coming to this agreement will require that you actually talk about this issue. Good luck. Let her know that either both of you can display your spiritual icons in common areas or neither of you can. If she agrees to both displaying and she continues to pull down your belongings in common areas, let her know you'll do the same with hers. Just say, "Hey, why are you messing with my decoration? I mean, would you like to do the same? I didn't want to bring it up, but I am not gonna take this anymore. You have your space, I have mine. Stop being immature and either talk to me or deal with it." Then leave, and let her think about it. If she doesn't move the plants, or talk to you, turn the crosses upside down. You go and speak to your residence advisor or whoever is in charge at your dorm. You let them know that your roommate is harassing you based on your religion and you get that zealot kicked out of your dorm. She's leapt way over the line. I think Christians demonize pagans. Regardless, if she displays her religious decor in the common areas, she's obligated to also respect your desire to display yours. Moving and hiding your belongings is disrespectful and controlling. She sounds self-centered and narrow-minded. Keep your things displayed. Move her plants, if they're hiding your decor. She also sounds like she avoids confrontation, so stand your ground. She'll eventually get too angry or annoyed and find another place to live. Why do either of you need religious decor up? People can have beliefs without displaying them on their walls. Either religious things can or cannot be displayed in common area. Ask her which one she prefers and follow it for all roommates. Nothing even remotely religious, maybe nothing displayed at all. Allowed in common area if no one can agree. You two should just put y'all's stuff up. It's almost the end of year for school. College is enough stress without this. I'm not saying this cause she's right, I'm just saying get you stuff packed up ready to get the hell away from her. She's likely to destroy your stuff if given more chances. Son, 13 male, wants sleepover with boy we think he's dating. My son is 13, and he, along with my other kids, is my pride and joy. He's a very sweet kid and the most sensitive of our kids. A few months ago, he brought home a new friend, but I have noticed his friendship with this boy is much different than other friends. Him and this boy wear each other's hoodies, which he doesn't do with any of his other friends. He is always talking about him when we ask him what he did at school that day. He is always sniffing the boy's hair and telling him how good it smells. Whenever me or my husband mention his friend's name, our son blushes a little. When playing video games together or watching a movie together, his hand is often on the other boy's thigh. He has a bottle of the cologne the boy wears and likes to smell it. The boys will often sit on each other's lap. He just asked to have a sleepover with the boy. This surprised me and I told him that I wanted to talk to his friend's mom first, but the truth is I was shocked by this and don't feel comfortable with it because I think they're dating. All of his siblings have recently had sleepovers and he hasn't had one in a while. If I say no, I don't want him thinking I hate his friend or that his siblings are the favorites, but I also don't want to out him if he is gay. He hasn't come out yet and I don't think he knows we think he's dating him. A few weeks ago one of his younger siblings asked him if he had a crush and he said he didn't like anyone but seemed a bit startled by the question. My husband says he doesn't know what to do, especially since I'm normally the one who coordinates sleepovers. Should I take the risk and let them have the sleepover? If not, how can I explain to him why I don't want him having a sleepover with him? I mean, have the talk with him that others are suggesting, but I don't think it's a terrible idea to have the sleepover. Maybe with one or two other friends or something, or with supervision. There's definitely something going on there, and it's a tough situation to say no to the sleepover and not make it seem like a rejection of the relationship, particularly to a 13-year-old. Just monitor them a bit more closely than you otherwise would and show him you support his coming out, mentioning a gay movie, artist, or something. Thinking back to when I was a gay kid, my insecurities were so heightened IDK how I would have taken any outcome in this situation, so I truly don't envy your position here. I think most parents would be uncomfortable with their 13-year-old having a sleepover with someone they are dating, regardless of the genders involved. You're just in kind of a sticky situation because it's not clear if your son really is in a relationship with the other boy. I think the best thing you can do is have the talk, and make it clear you're supportive of whomever he loves. I think you treat it like any other sex and have a conversation around readiness and implications. Talk to him about it and it's time for the sex conversation. You won't be able to stop them from having sex if they want to have sex. Better to make sure he is aware of safe sex and healthy relationship. Get clarification that something's actually going on between the two first before saying yes or no. Even then, there's no harm in a sleepover as long as there is rules. You're the parent. Be a parent. Talk to him. Open and honestly. If the other boy is also his age I don't really see a problem. They are young and as you said probably in love. Just let them be young, let them discover stuff, and if it's another boy so be it. Right now it's important that he feels loved by his family and maybe his boyfriend as this whole situation probably isn't easy for him. Sleepover should be fine anyway, it's better that they are in a controlled home rather than to meet up in secret. I have a gay daughter who came out at 13/14, and she had a best friend that she cuddled with a lot. They weren't actually dating, but we talked about it, and the possibility. They did have sleepovers, but by the time she was 14, it was pretty much just a few small group sleepovers. I'd talk to him, make sure he knows you're okay with it. And honestly, at this age, he may or may not know it's actually a crush. I wouldn't be okay with a private sleepover with my kid dating someone at 13, but I'd feel differently if they were a bit older, or if there were other kids there, or even if it was a living room thing. Regardless, make sure your son knows you love him no matter who he dates. Best wishes.